Hello, 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 and happy autumnal equinox, otherwise known as Maven. As you see, I have my fall witchy hat on to celebrate the day. Ha ha! Actually, I love Maven. I love the fall equinox because unlike Lunasa, which is at the 1st of August, it's like still super hot. I'm really not feeling the first pagan harvest vibe. I am not ready. I just want to enjoy my life and still think of summer. And then the other, holiday is Samhain or Halloween. And, that's a big production with costumes and candies and all kinds of stuff. So this is a very pleasant one that really kicks off the fall season. And so it's easygoing, it's friendly. The colors are aligned with my situation. So for me, Mebin is what it's all about. If you go to my YouTube or my TikTok, which is under my same name, Jenna Matlin, or you go to my Instagram, Jenna Matlin, but that is now private because the scammers are crazy these days. You will see I have a beautiful little TikTok video of my altar for Mebin, or Mabon. Sometimes I stress the wrong syllable. But in my house, where the people who owned the place before had a big, big, huge TV. I've got now a big, huge, huge altar. So I feel like I've gussied up the joint. So for today, it depends on who shows up. It looks like there's no one live. So we'll see if someone comes in. But then I will maybe just do a general reading if you want to tune in later. So what's happening for my YouTube lives? Mostly you will find me here on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's what, 1500 o'clock for the non-Americans who do that time. And so I am here. So today we're going to do some fun Mabon and tarot with charm casting. So if no one comes up, at least I get to show you like how I use it. And then next Wednesday, I have a very, very special guest. I have Miss Nancy Hendrickson. We're going to talk about her newest book who's recently come out, Ancestral Grimoire. Very wonderful. I like tore through this thing so fast. So you want to come for that next week. Now, October is full of some really amazing things. Just to kind of tickle your, put this on your calendar if it feels good to you. On October 5th, I will be running through and doing a deck review of Trick or Treat Tarot with Barbara Moore. Hey, Jonathan. And I will be talking about festival reading as a tarot professional. So if you do festival readings and do event readings, I did write 2 books on the subject. I wrote Have Tarot Will Travel, and then I also wrote Have Tarot Will Party. These were books I wish existed, and now I give them to you so that you may benefit from all my hard-earned lessons. But we're going to talk a little bit about that, and I'm going to show you my quick and dirty, very general, very fast, good general spread that I use for festivals. That will be on October 5th. October 19th, I will be doing a guided meditation and spread called Death Spiral, where you meet yourself at death. And we get to find out what happens before you shuck off this mortal coil in keeping with the holiday Halloween season. And then finally, on the 26th, and that's actually the same day as my tarot and mediumship course, which you can now sign up for. It's called Spectral Reader. You can go to my website, jennamatlin.com. And that is teaching tarot readers how to pick up mediumship as a skill set. So you might want to sign up for that. But that day on the live, I'm going to be doing an oldie but goodie spread, a spread that I call, Do You Want to Go Looking for Trouble? It's called the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse spread. So we're going to see if there is bad news, we're going to meet it head on. And we're going to use the 4 knights as the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. So I hope you come for that. So that's kind of what's going on. Yeah, there is a lot. Oh yeah, my book. Yeah, my book is a little over maybe 5 weeks left before it actually launches, and I usually have it close by. So please pre-order. Will you give me a reading? So if you liked my first two books and you found them helpful as a tarot practitioner, this is not going to disappoint. I leave no stone unturned, as I normally do not. So for today, we have May the Gray. Hello, welcome. Hey, Jonathan. So at least we got two people to have fun with. Today, I'm going to just do some Mabin based, uh, autumnal equinox readings for you, a general reading, and then I'm also going to do some charm casting. So you'll get to enjoy and also watch if you've been thinking about integrating these two systems, which I think is fabulous to integrate, to be honest with you. So let me get my document camera up and rolling here. And let's see, let's do this. So for today, I am using the Robin Wood Tarot, which just felt kind of, I don't know, beginning of fall vibe for me. And I'm using Carrie Paris's humongous casting oracle charm set, which I got at Tide in Dallas this past year, with a whole lot of yummy, yummy little goodies like this. So what I do is I'll do a general reading, and then I'll just take a pinch of the charms from the bag after shaking them, and then I will cast them. Thank you. Yes, I thought my witch hat has to come out. Now that fall is here, the hat is here. So then we're going to cast the charms, and what I'm looking for is not just the charms themselves and what's coming out, but where the charms land within the imagery of the tarot cards as well as between them. And that gives us a lot of really juicy information. I use charm casting often if there is a desire or need for a little bit more of like a quick bit of extra clarification, or a nuance that I'm looking for. Oh my gosh. I know the Robin Hood has been around forever, hasn't it? So let's get into it. So, Jonathan, do you want a reading? And if so, do you have a question? And MA, the gray, if you're here as well and you want a reading, go ahead. If you have a question, well, first indicate whether you want a reading. And then second, if you do, indicate the question if you've got one. And then I will get us rocking and rolling here. I know. Isn't this hat great? I love it. I wish I could wear it all the time. Jonathan asks, what's my best way forward? All right. What's his best way forward? Jonathan, do you want to give me a topic along with the question? I mean, you don't have to, but it'd be great. Yes, yes, I know who you are, man. I know. Omega was great. I think I'm hooked. I'm going to have to come back. All right. What's my best way forward? I'm going to pull 3 cards. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you got a muggle job, don't you? I'm just kidding. Well, I'm glad you made it. And if you want to just pop in a question, and if you got to go, I'll still stay here and answer it, and then you can tune in later. So, my friend Jonathan, here's what we have for you. We have Queen of Cups. We have Ace of Swords, and I will come in on this. And we have the Emperor. Oh, very interesting. Very interesting. Let me zoom in on this bad boy so we can get a real good look at these guys. Maybe I got to pull back just a little bit. There we go. That's the one thing I love about YouTube Lives that I can't do as well, like on Instagram Live, is I can't do my document camera and show this off in this way. So, Jonathan, what is my best way forward, financial and career? Okay. Well, I think it's really interesting that what we're seeing is Queen of Cups on the left hand side and the Emperor on the right hand side, and Ace of Swords in between. So, this is the struggle between emotion and discipline. Queen of Cups being the motion and Emperor being the discipline. Now, with the Ace of Swords between that, I would say there's something here about watching for any kind of impulse spending, watching for any kind of emotional spending. So I don't know about you, but like, yeah, kind of shopping is a little bit of my, some people have a beer. I go and check out what's on the sales rack. So I am certainly guilty of this. So there's a little bit of that. And plus, with force, also, there is some feeling of really having some goals financially for you. Like, what dollar amount are we looking at trying to achieve? And what are you doing once you achieve it? So there's a bit of a conceptual shift, or like something that you need to actually kind of hit that will help with some of the impulse buys. And then the emperor is just being really, really structured and really, really careful. Now I'm going to throw some charms over that. We're going to see what the heck is going on. Retail therapy. And there's always another deck to buy, another tarot book to buy. Always, always, always. So what I'm doing is I'm holding them here. I guess I can show you guys. And I'm just kind of putting my hands in and kind of giving them a nice little mixy match. And I just take a small pinch. Now I've had this I've learned my lesson with clients where I'm like, take a pinch. And by pinch, it's like their hands become like like one of those crane operations like at the arcade, and as they scoop up like 50 charms and then chuck them. We don't want that much, but like, less than 10, less than 8, just a small handful to show us. And then what I do is I don't really think too much about where I'm casting. I'm just trying to kind of cast it over the thing. So here's what we got. Oh, that's interesting. So I'm going to pull back a little bit so that you can see where all the charms went. There are 1, 2, 3, and 4 charms that came out. And I look at the charms that fall around the cards as well as on the cards. So this is really interesting. And what I'm looking at, ooh, that's not supposed to happen. What I'm looking at here is like a lot of spatial aspects. So here we have the cornucopia, the harvest, right? So that's definitely in keeping with his financial ideas. When does my harvest come in? When do I get to reap what I've been maybe toiling for? And then here we have on all the way over to the right, we have the flaming heart. And it's interesting because as I was attempting, yeah, a pinch, not a scoop. As I was attempting to cast this little charm actually stuck to my thumb. So I would also look at that as an oracular message, which I'll get into in a second. Then, interestingly, I'm going to zoom in a bit here. And the two other charms are the Devil card, which is between the Emperor and Swords, and also the Unicorn card, which is also on the Emperor, which I think is really interesting. And let me pull back a little bit. I just wanted to show you guys that. So you're like, what is she talking about as I go through it? Now, it's interesting to me, and the first thing I'm really looking at is that devil card, because the devil card is temptation, is it not? Ways that you are being tempted for naughty things, like one more deck, haha. And he is sitting between Ace of Swords and the Emperor. So I feel like this is really corroborating around that like discipline part, like locking it down, really being careful with your outputs, what you're spending and why. and any kind of impulse buys. Now, that doesn't just have to be about you, could be about people in your family, your kids, people that you cannot help but spend money on. That is part of it too. And now, when we look at where the devil's going, he's kind of going, oh, he's going in this direction. So he's trying to head off Ace of Swords at the pass. He's trying to minimize. So for me, Ace of Swords is awkward conversations. So sometimes sitting down with those in your household and having those hard money conversations. But also, I see Ace of Swords as truth. So if you've been like, I'm guilty, if you've been the type to keep an item in the car until somebody isn't around and then squirrel it in your house. Uh, oh, honey, don't watch this. That's part of what I'm seeing here, which is, we have to be really transparent, including the things that we're like, oh, I don't want to tell you, because the devil doesn't want you to do that. And then finally, Ace of Swords for me is a boundaries card, which the devil's also trying to head off at the pass. So just know that there is a lot of temptation around this question and a lot of layers of meaning. But really, if we're just sticking to being really transparent, really honest with ourselves and others, we cannot go wrong. Now, the unicorn is really interesting. So, the unicorn here is also seated at the foot of the emperor. He's seated right at the bottom here. So when we see that seated, it's almost as if the emperor is about to get onto the unicorn and go for a ride. The unicorn is waiting. So what I see there in terms of finances is that maybe you have a magical idea or a creative idea that's just been kind of sitting and waiting for you to get on and gallop. And it is a creative solution to what feels like maybe non-creative problems. So if you're looking between option A, which is kind of standard definition, option, or option B, which is the more magical or interesting option, it's alluding to really looking at the magical and interesting option, but you got to get on because the unicorn's waiting for you to get off the throne, get on and ride. So the cornucopia way up here, right above, kind of even above the eye line of the Queen of Cups, is saying that kind of like from where you are now between the unicorn and the devil and where you eventually want to be, which is the cornucopia, your ship coming in, we have a bit of a ways to go. So it's important to keep fantasizing a bit at a minimum, because sometimes it feels really good to fantasize about, oh my God, I'm going to win $1 million and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Because it's kind of like in the realm of like her dream category. It's kind of above her head in terms of her emotional thoughts. So we want to bring it down a little bit more. And that it's going to take a little while before we see that really starting to come to fruition. And then finally, we have the flaming heart, which looks like it's kind of being tossed this way, and it was stuck to my thumb. Now, what I'm feeling here is a flaming heart in this instance is talking about maybe something you're passionate about or something that you tried, and it didn't even either work the first time, or um, the timing wasn't right, but it's indicating that there is something that is connected to your passion, something that's connected to what you feel really connected with, that could be part of this journey in terms of your best way forward financially. So, Jonathan, that is your reading using 3 cards and just a little pinch of charm casting. Isn't that fun? Readings make me really thirsty. And I live in the South now, so I drink lots of sweet tea, iced tea. So that's how I do charm castings. They're a lot of fun. It took me a minute to kind of really get them. And some charms in the kit I don't use because I was like, I don't this charm isn't really speaking to me. I don't really know what it means. And so instead of just, sitting more on that struggle bus, I just took it out and said, doesn't talk to me. You're welcome, Jonathan. Thank you. Yeah, I love really looking at charms, seeing how they're interacting spatially with the cards as, just from a dynamic perspective of movement. But then when they land within the card, how are they like an additional symbol within the card? And what is that telling us? So we're really creating these like nuanced layers of meaning that I think are really awesome. So if does anyone have a question? Did I miss anybody? No, okay. So if no one has a question, what I'll do is I will do one more general, and then I will move over to Instagram and kind of showcase this technique as well. So last call, last call. I can even do news related things if there's something in current events that feels like it's calling to you. Oh, hey, Susan. Yeah, it is super interesting. I really love it. Like charm casting was something that, I've known for a while and kind of played with for a while. But it didn't click for me until I really got the big mega mega charm kit and started really seeing how it interacts with what's already happening in tarot. Then I felt like, oh my God, this is great. I also have a charm casting cloth, which let me go get it actually. Let me show you guys. I'll be right back. Um, okay, so charm casting cloths, and let me share with you guys yet again. Can be very simple or they can be very complex. I got these both from Carrie as well, and I think Nancy Hendrickson. So, anyways, you can have something like this, which is more of like a general kind of a general read where you kind of put the casting cloth out and then you cast over this. And then you watch how the charms will interact with these various symbols that are already pre-printed. And I've had a lot of fun just doing that. And this has got a lot of cool things in it. So I feel like this is really good for like a general reading. You're seeing relationships, baby, religion, money, house, peace or strife, yes, no. So it's kind of neat. Oh, that's really neat, Jonathan. Is your dark light runes, is it out yet? Is that can you get that at the gate? Was it the Game Crafter as well? And then this other one that I got from Carrie and Nancy was about something that they were showcasing. They were doing like ancestor work with the Lenormand as well as charm casting. So the cloth that they have is about like looking at your family tree, which is so freaking cool and so unusual. Let me see if I can pull back. Oh, that's about as far back. Let me see if I can get my camera to kind of come up a step. There we go. That's about as good as I can get it. Um, but as you can see, there is a whole family tree here. And you have like, your mother, your father, your maternal grandmother, grandfather, and then like you could even do it where they're speaking to you. So you can charm cast up here. And then down at the root, we have the divine feminine, divine masculine, folk ways. And you can use your charm casting to speak to your ancestors using this cloth. So really, your the sky's the limit in terms of your creativity and how you can use these. So this is definitely maybe Nancy and I when she comes on um, next week, maybe I'll play with this with her. I'll talk to her about it. Oh, okay, cool, Jonathan. Well, let us know. Let me know, and we'll have you on the show, and we'll talk about it. So yeah, isn't that kind of cool? Oh, you got this cut from Carrie as well? Yeah. So, yeah, there's a lot you can do, but for me in terms because, tarot reading is my main event, I will definitely why is my mouse acting weird? It is Mercury retrograde. What is happening? Um, so that's the cool thing about charm casting is that I really let the tarot kind of act as the mat, and then I'll throw the charms on, and then I'll look at it spatially. So that is basically it. There's a lot going on. I've been super active on TikTok actually. I do upload the videos here as well. I did a whole series of psychic tips and tricks for you who are looking to enhance your psychic readings. I've done a bunch of 2 card readings, overviews, and a thing on the court cards. So I'm always kind of posting little things here and there to help people be better readers. So, oh, the first cloth. Yeah, yeah, that was cool. So I am here for it. Find me here on YouTube, find me on TikTok, find me on Instagram. But if you friend me on Instagram, DM me because it is crazy what's happening with all of the scammers who will use some kind of program to mirror your account and then friend your friends. So they think it's you. And then that person is like, hey, I'm here to give you a reading. And they're like, oh my God, Jen is here to give me a reading. And then you've just now given some rando money and I didn't get it. And you probably didn't get a good reading. So I'm trying to keep unfortunately, I have to keep my account there private because I just don't want anyone to be taken advantage of if I can help it. So, either way, let's keep connecting and hopefully I will see you next week. And happy Maven, happy autumnal equinox. I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. Bye, guys.